Welcome to Making Memoir Magic, the podcast where we unlock the power of your story and guide you through the magical process of turning life experiences into memoirs that inspire and impact. I'm your host, Carrie Kreisman, a memoir mentor and storytelling champion, and I'm here to help you find the courage to embrace your unique story and share it with the world. Whether you're just starting out or refining your final draft, this is the place to be for practical tips, inspiration, and the encouragement you need to write the memoir only you can tell. Ready to make some magic? Let's dive in. Hi, friends, and welcome back. I'm Carrie Kreisman, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. This is a space where we talk about storytelling, the power of memoir, and also the everyday rhythms of life that shape us into the people we are. Today's episode is about renewal. Not the January 1st set a resolution kind of renewal, but the quieter, more layered kind. It's the kind that shows up in unexpected places, in our relationships, in our traditions, and even in the night sky. Now, I live in Florida, which means that summer feels endless most of the time. 91 degrees in September, which is what it has been every day this week, doesn't exactly scream fall. But lately, I've been noticing the shift. At 6 a.m., when I step outside with Betty, my guide dog pup in training, the grass is wet with dew, the air is lighter. The sky is still black, but it's dotted with stars, planets, and sometimes the faint outline of the moon. So just the other morning, the crescent moon sat perfectly between Jupiter and the twin stars Pollux and Castor. And this week, the planets are lining up, preparing for the autumn equinox. And so even when the heat lingers, the signs of change are everywhere. The earlier sunsets, the amber evening light, the way my neighbors and their dogs seem to walk with a little more energy now that the humidity has lifted. Renewal is in the air, even if regular temperatures suggest otherwise. So in my house, September also holds another kind of renewal. This year, Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, falls on the same day as the autumn equinox. My husband is Jewish and I'm Catholic. And for almost 33 years, we've built a marriage that honors both traditions. When we first met, at a beach bar of all places, we knew right away that we were more serious about each other quicker. It didn't take long for us to realize also that our faith backgrounds would matter if we were going to pursue a long-term relationship. And for the record, I don't think this is news to anyone. Catholicism and Judaism aren't necessarily the easiest religions to merge. So early on, it did feel complicated. But over time, those differences became one of the deepest strengths of our marriage. So here's what I've learned about renewal. Renewal isn't only about sameness or maintaining that level of sameness. It's about honoring what makes each of us unique while finding the courage to keep returning to each other. I've learned Hebrew prayers and he has joined me in Catholic Mass. Our rituals aren't competitive, they're in conversation. And that's a lesson that goes far beyond religion. So lately in our world, which is, ever more vitriolic at times, and that's why it's important to turn to practices like writing and reading. But lately, the phrase, two things can be true at the same time, has been showing up everywhere. And it's true in faith, in marriage, and in the difficult times that we find ourselves in. It's possible to hold two truths, to honor your own tradition while respecting another's, to be deeply rooted in your story while making space for someone else's. Renewal is the practice of holding space for both of these things. And I think that's part of what is lacking in our daily lives. Now, you may be thinking, what does this have to do with memoir? What does this have to do with writing? Stick with me, and I promise you, you will see my point and see where I'm going with this. So, in our communities and in our world, it's the willingness to see our differences as opportunities for dialogue, respect, and even love. That's the perfect antidote to the threats that exist regarding the ability we all have to use our voices as a mechanism for education and understanding. So, where am I going with all of this? I want to tell you because while I teach memoir and I counsel aspiring authors and help shepherd them through the process, I'm still a writer. I'm still pursuing my own project. And my husband and I have decided that we are leaning into this more intentionally now. We are working on a project together. It is part story and part guide, and it's for couples in interfaith relationships or for anyone who's trying to build bridges across differences. Now, it's still in its early stages, but to us, it feels like a natural continuation of what our life together has always been, which is a story of renewal, acceptance, and love. And maybe that's exactly what renewal is. Not just fresh starts, but the willingness to write the next chapter, even when you don't know exactly how it will unfold. So, as I work on this writing project, I want to share with you some practices or lessons, if you will, that have helped me. So instead of thinking of moving from one season as just a change in weather, the appearance of our surroundings, or the date on the calendar, consider this shift as an invitation. Each shift gives us a new lens, and as writers, we can use that to get words on the page. Here are a few ways to embrace renewal and turn it into momentum for your writing. Number one is to name the shift that you feel. Jot down 3 small changes that you've noticed in your environment. Some examples might include observing a different light in the evening, the sound of migrating birds, or even your own mood. Specific details can ground your writing. And anchor that shift in what you're feeling, anchor it to memory. Ask yourself, when have I felt this before? Maybe it's the smell of fall that reminds you of school days or family gatherings. Let those sensory details pull you into a scene. And the third, write in contrasts. Renewal often holds tension, endings and beginnings, light and dark, sameness and change. Choose a contrast and write 2 paragraphs, one from the ending side and one from the beginning side. And set a tiny ritual. I guess this is 4 things, so I take that back. You're getting another tip. Set a tiny ritual. Just as faith traditions use candles, prayers, or even apples dipped in honey, like Rosh Hashanah, choose a small ritual for your writing. For example, light a candle, brew a cup of tea, put on a certain song. Let those things signal to your brain, this is writing time. When we approach writing with the same reverence that we bring to seasons of change, words start to flow. Renewal is more than what is happening around you. It's events and moments that you can capture on the page. So, if you have ever thought about writing your own story, I've started something new. Each week on Substack, I'm excited to share this, and that's why I'm smiling as I say this because I love the ability to try to reach people where they're at. So each week on Substack, I'm sharing lessons from my full memoir course with paid subscribers. Now, my course is 4 modules, 16 lessons total with downloadable PDFs. It's online, it's self-paced. When I launch it to a group, I include 4 weeks of coaching throughout, but it's a one-off. You can buy the course, you can work through it at your pace, and some people love to work that way. Others maybe need their information sent to them, fed to them, given to them in smaller doses that can reduce overwhelm and maybe breaking down a project into smaller pieces. So that's what I'm doing on Substack. I'm sharing lessons from my full memoir course, Make Memoir Magic, with paid subscribers. So last week, that was the first week I launched this. We explored the power of memoirs. This week, we're diving into how to empower others through your personal narrative. So when you subscribe, you get one lesson per week delivered directly to your inbox on Thursday mornings. So really, we've got 2 lessons behind us. And the third will be coming next week, but if you subscribe today or whenever you're listening to this podcast, you will get the archive of lessons. But you'll get that delivered to your inbox on Thursday mornings, and you'll learn through a video lesson, a writing prompt, and then a powerful resource that I've created to complement that week's lesson. That's downloadable. You keep that and you use it and implement it and help it augment your writing. So, for example, this week's lesson includes a guide on how to interview family members. When we're talking about empowering your personal narrative, your personal narrative includes others besides you. And a lot of the times when we write memoir, it includes our family members. And, sometimes we don't know how to talk to them about our stories, our feelings, and what we want to share in our book. So I have a guide that helps you maneuver that through that process of interviewing your family members. So while memoir is your story and it's from your point of view, you didn't experience everything you want to share in your book in a vacuum. There were people with you. And like I said a few minutes ago, they were very likely your family members. My course also dives deeper into how to write with sensitivity while also telling your truth. But this guide helps you when it's time to talk to the people who were there on the journey with you, the ones who are also characters in your memoir. So if that sounds like something you'd like to explore, I'd love to have you join me, and you can find me on Substack under my name, Carrie Kreisman, or my Substack handle, Nothing is Accidental. But for today, I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to remember what I'm going to say. I want you to know that wherever you are, whatever season you find yourself in, renewal is waiting. It might be on the way the light changes, or it might be in the way the light changes, or in the words of a prayer you've never spoken before, or simply in the courage to begin again. So take that with you. Use it as inspiration. I hope it's inspiring for you. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, may you pause just long enough to taste the sweetness of renewal. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Making Memoir Magic. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step toward telling your unique story through memoir. Remember, your story matters, and someone out there is waiting to hear it. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find the show. You can also connect with me at my website, carriekreisman.com, on social media, on Instagram at Make Memoir Magic, or join my Facebook group, Making Memoir Magic for Aspiring Writers. You'll get more tips and inspiration on your memoir journey. Until next time, keep writing, keep sharing, and keep making memoir magic.